Okay, I'm starting with the waterfall model. In the waterfall model, like all the life cycle methodologies of project life cycle development, we have all these things. In the analysis, we'll find out if a particular process can be automated. In documentation, we'll document the process. And in the development stage, we'll write the code. And in testing phase, we will test the written code and then we will deploy. See, in this agile model, this is a bit different. Like here the process or the steps will be same, but there are some words that you need to remember. Sprint. Next, we have something called backlogs, and the second one is the third one we have is Scrum Master. Okay, and team. Okay, so here in this waterfall model, normally what will happen is we'll have someone called members. So here in this waterfall model, we'll have something called project manager, uh, who actually or project manager or team lead, who monitors work, assign tasks, and make sure work is delivered. But in agile model or in this model, see, we are not talking about analysis or development or anything, but we are talking about a person, a role given to a person. Scrum Master is responsible for the team. Okay, now we'll also discuss with yesterday's example, like adding of two numbers, like what should be the backlogs and what are the backlogs. Let's just okay. I hope you can hear me. Just reply out hi, yes. Okay, thank you. So in backlogs, what exactly we'll do is we will try to work on what are the activities that we have. We'll keep them as backlogs. For example, I need to write code. Okay, I need to write the code to add two numbers, prepare documentation or PDD for the process. So all these are tasks, if you ask me, which need to be completed. So those goes into backlogs which we need to take and complete. Okay, and a sprint is 15-day time where we are giving one workable product or outcome. Okay, simple thing. If I asked you to add two numbers, and if you are able to complete all the documentation and complete all the code, and if you are able to give it back to me within 15 days, then that simple part can be taken as a sprint time, and sprint outcome is what we will talk or say about. In this, we have also team. The team is a developer, analyst, tester. Everyone comes under a team. Okay, everyone are led by a scrum master. So till now, whatever we have seen are with respect to the words or the words that we normally have for a sprint. And people who are already working on sprints, tell me if I go somewhere wrong, then you can correct it. Okay, now here all this analysis, documentation, development, and testing deployment must be completed within 15 days of time. Like even if it is a small bit. for example, the complete project is actually to create a calculator. So let's assume that we need to create calculator, and for that creation of calculator is our complete project. Okay, so there are 4 sprints that we can divide this into: sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4. So again, when I'm saying sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, and sprint 4, this is a 15-day timeline normally. Okay. Now in this sprint 1, we will complete, or the task that will be completed is addition of 2 numbers. After completion of sprint 1, then we will go with sprint 2 and we will write subtraction of 2 numbers. And in sprint 3, we'll go ahead and complete multiplication of 2 numbers. And in sprint 4, we'll complete division of 2 numbers. Okay. In 4 sprints, we are going to complete our calculator project. So this is what normally we will discuss and we will talk about. So each and every sprint, we will have one outcome. Like the code must be completed to add 2 numbers. In sprint 2, the code must be completed to subtract 2 numbers. By the end of sprint 4, the complete project will be completed. Okay. So that's how we need to talk, or we need to tell in an interview. Like, okay, we follow agile methodology, but in agile methodology we'll have 15 days timeline, and we will have a task to complete that will be assigned by our scrum master, and we maintain all the tasks in ADO or in any GitHub. So that's what we will maintain, or that's where we will track our project. After completion of all the items, then we will deploy. So every week or every 2 weeks there is a production deployment. So after adding of 2 numbers, deploy this. So once we have what's a scrum master? Scrum master is like a team leader, but for a scrum team. Okay, so he is responsible for in and out of the activities. Like if the team is not able to work on something, like there is an application that need to be available, but that application don't have an access, then who is responsible to communicate that on behalf of team? So along with that, who need to maintain or lead the team, or who need to monitor team activities? That's the role of scrum master. Okay, you can take him as a team lead. So deploy this, then after 2 numbers on the second sprint, then we will also deploy this. Yes, each sprint will have 10 days of timeline. That's a normal timeline. If the company wants to change it, they can change it on their own. Okay, so deploy this. But when we deploy this, there are 2 outcomes of this. So here we'll have 2 modules, addition and subtraction. Okay, by the end of sprint 3, we will already have addition and subtraction. Now we will deploy, or we will add multiply. So we will have all the 3 in place, and by the end of the 4th one, we will have all 4: add, sub, multiply, and divide. Okay, so these are the simple concepts. Just understand that this is a repetitive process where we are adding in new items. So by sprint 1, first 15 days, we will complete this and we'll deploy this, uh, deploy add, and after next 15 days, we will have add as well as subtraction to be deployed, and add, subtraction, and multiplication to be done. So this is an incremental process that we will do in the Scrum. Okay, so that is about waterfall model, and this is about a agile model. So when we are talking about an agile model, we will have shorter, like the whole complete project will be divided into small modules, and we will be able to deliver a module that is available, or we will be able to give a part of it that's available, actually, or one after the other. So if there is only one team, or if the same team members are available in one team, every member cannot work on multiple teams, right? So there will be a sprint one that will be completed. Only after that, sprint two will be taken up. So this is about waterfall model. In waterfall model, first we will do analysis of the complete project. Like, okay, so here we first completed ad, right? But what we will do in analysis phase is um, complete issues or complete all requirement gathering for add, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So everything must be done in a waterfall model. We cannot say that, okay, first I will complete addition, then I will go for subtraction. You will not go in that model for waterfall. Okay. Then after that, again here, complete all documentation. Now here we will have only one deployment, that is combination of add. So we will also test everything, addition, subtraction. We will check if all the things are working, and division. Okay, so here in the testing phase, again same, we will test for each and every activity if that is successful or not. So what exactly will happen in this waterfall model is, for example, let's say that I want to deploy something. If I start it now, maybe after 30 days to 60 days is what my deployment will be. Till then, I will not have any end product ready. So if I want to have this calculator application ready, calculator automation ready, then we cannot go till, or the deployment cannot be done for at least 30 days to 2 months, because there is no proper timeline and sometimes it may be extended. Okay, so that is the difference between waterfall model and agile model. Again, this completely depends upon the team, so you need not worry about what is my role in this particular activity. Your role in this particular activity is just to complete your task. Just understand what's happening and how things are moving, and that's it. Okay. Now, the question is, which development is mostly used in RPA? See, again, that depends on the company or the team. If the team is very new, though you're telling that it will be agile model, that will fall as a waterfall model, because they don't know what are the requirements. They don't know what should be done. So normally in the beginning, we can say in an interview, like, we started with a waterfall model since we don't have a proper requirement gathering in place and we don't know the activities in place. But since we are working for the past 1.5 year, 2 years, and now we moved into agile model, since our team is properly structured and we know what exactly we need to do. We have proper requirement gathering, we have proper analysis, and we will be able to properly define all the requirements and we will be able to deliver faster. So we are working on agile model now. So it completely depends upon the level of accuracy a team can bring when working on the projects. Okay, so that is with respect to calculator and different waterfall model as well as agile model. So I will stop it till here. I will open for the questions for 5 minutes. Please ask your questions and then we'll go ahead into task capture. Okay, so let's just wait. Waterfall model. This is path task capture. Okay, I am opening the meeting for questions. Hello, mics. Okay, I have allowed mics for everyone. Just unmute and talk. Ask your question one person at a time, please.
Hi Vajrang.
Yep.
In which model we can do changes in middle of the process?
See, if the sprint is already fixed, then if there is any change, then we can either ask them to wait for till the next sprint, or if they are making the changes, we can say that, okay, by this sprint one, you cannot have a workable product. But in a waterfall model, you already have a timeline of 60 days or 1 month, right? Even though there are some gaps in between, or even though there are some requirement gaps, within 60 days you will be able to deploy it. If they want to extend it, they will extend it. See, this is the work that you need to do in specific time, and all the team members should adhere with whatever we are committing.
Mhm.
Okay. In both
So
in
there
both
is no.
cases, we will have an opportunity to make changes.
Okay.
Please go on mute if that's completed.
Thank you.
Okay, others? Any other question?
So in waterfall, there is no sprint plannings like that.
Yeah, because we will first check with the analysis, then we will go for a documentation, then the deployment, right? So there will not be any sprint words that will be used in waterfall model. So these are the
Okay.
words we use when we are working on agile model.
So then what's the time limit for the task? If in Agile
Mm.
model, we have a task like that, we need to finish in 2 weeks. For
Mm.
like in
that will
waterfall.
be that will be dependent on the task that you are given. And let's say that if I am a project manager, I decide or I know how much time it will take to create a documentation, so I will give a 2 day time to a business analyst and I will ask him to complete. So it completely depends upon solution architect who or team lead who coordinates and monitors the team.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Vajra, again, Chandu, in
Mm.
this, I understood that
Mm.
in waterfall model, we can't do any changes till the water entire process till
No,
done.
no,
But in the
that's not the condition. See,
okay,
waterfall model, first we will complete analysis phase and then we'll complete development, documentation. So while we are going with testing phase, we found a bug or we found that there is some issue. Okay. So now
mm,
what will happen? Again, we need to identify what is the analysis and why that bug is identified. Again, we need to update or redo the documentation. Again, we need to do the development, right?
mm,
But in sprint, actually, the combination or what we exactly need to identify or concentrate is only for addition,
okay,
not for subtraction, multiplication, and division. As a developer, you need not worry about it. Someone like solution architect or product manager will have an idea. Like if you want to give me this project, then I will ask you to work on simple module, but I will give you an idea what is the big picture. How exactly are we
okay,
going to move? But your task will be only to write the code for the task that you have given.
mm,
Okay.
okay,
Now here, if there
thank you.
is an issue with in sprint, if there is an issue with addition, while working on multiplication or subtraction, you can update or you can correct those changes. Okay, so yesterday
Okay,
Maruti
okay,
also mentioned the same. After completion of 15 days, then if you found that there is an issue, then you need to accommodate the work in by the next sprint. That's a backlog.
okay.
Okay.
Hello, Vajra.
Yes, your name please.
Myself, Shailaja.
Saileja. Yeah, tell me.
Right. Like right now, I'm coming from the non-coding background. So my
Mm,
question here is like right now we are discussing two models, waterfall model and agile model,
correct.
which means these two are like in the use currently in the
Correct.
market
Correct.
or in teams. So, but most of the times in the JDs we do find agile model. So,
Mm.
is waterfall model still in the use, very much in the use, or is like it's just about the
See,
company's
agile model,
requirement
why
for
people prefer agile model and RPA for RPA, people started to work on agile model now. It's not in practice from the beginning. See, I have said you clearly, right? To be in an agile model, you need to know properly what you need to do. Okay, so let's assume that RPA started in 4 years back. Till past 3 years, even few organizations haven't started RPA yet. So they exactly don't know what they need to do. If there is a scrum master who is aware of all the activities, then he can lead the team. Okay. As a team member, your activity is to complete the task only. Okay, Sailaja?
Yeah.
Yes. So all you need to, or in an interview, they will not ask you anything that's related to a Scrum Master question or anything. They will just ask you which methodology do you follow. Then you can obviously go ahead and tell that we follow our waterfall model because the team itself is new and we developed only few projects in here. But if we are saying that I have 3 to 5 years of experience into RPA, then you can say till now we followed waterfall. Now we are moving into agile model. Okay, DevOps.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, it's the way how you answer. They cannot prove that you didn't work on agile model, right? Until you answer it correctly.
Right.
Yes.
Hello, Vajrang, Shweta here.
We'll take this as the last question for now.
Yeah.
Then we'll continue.
Yeah.
Yes, Sweta, go ahead.
In every sprint, there will be a deployment, right? And this deployment will be shared also with the stakeholders, like
Yeah.
all the deployments will be finished after the sprints, and final the deployment will be shared with the
Everything will be
stakeholders.
given to the stakeholders. See, first we will
Okay.
say that only you can use edition functionality. Then we will add something. Okay, now you can also add, you can also give inputs for multiplication. Then after third week, you can also say that, okay, now that you have completed additional multiplication, now also you can work on subtraction. So the end product will always be given to the stakeholder or business user.
Okay. And if there are any modifications or updations needs to be done for after each sprint, then those will be performed in the next sprint and then given again to the stakeholder, right?
Exactly. So we already have addition functionality added up in, subtraction added up in the second sprint. Now they bring in a query that, okay, in addition, there are some additional requirements or in additional module, there are some extra features that you need to add. Then you can obviously say that, okay, the timeline is already fixed. Either reduce the timeline, okay, like, okay, move this subtraction to the next module or next sprint, or else you can have these details after completion of all the items because sprint time is fixed. Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's what I am telling. So if there is any addition or anything, then it completely depends upon the team to agree on what we need to deliver.
Okay. Okay. If it is not deliverable, then
It goes into
it will
backlog.
be backlog. Okay. Okay. Clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, see, I'm not going into development or writing the code because first you need to understand what exactly you need to do and how exactly you need to do. And addition of subtraction or multiplication, these are just examples to make you clearly understand that what you are already aware of. Okay, once we move into projects and all, then things will be completely different on a project level, but the way how we write or how we follow will be the same. Okay, so that's what a experienced person will bring in to the table than to a non-experienced person. Okay, so I'm keeping everyone in the mute again. Disable mics. Yep. Instant. Now we will talk about UiPath Task Capture. So where exactly UiPath Task Capture will come in picture? Now you have these questions, right? We have uh, analysis phase, analysis or discovery phase, and we have something called solution designing and documentation. In the solution designing and documentation, we have PDD and SDD. Then we have something called development. Okay. And here, let's go. Okay. Maybe I just need to move it a bit next. Okay, fine. So we'll create solution design document and then we'll do development and production deployment. We'll do all these things. Okay. Now the requirement is simple. How can we use or let me just move this back. Production deployment, support and maintenance. So all this should come here. Okay. Okay. Now in solution designing, we have SDD and PDD. Okay. Here we have PDD. But before going into documentation, we need to first identify what is our requirement, how exactly we need to move forward. Okay, so for that we will be using something called UiPath Task Capture, or we can also use any kind of UML tool to draw a diagram or to show that this is what we are going to do. Okay, and open in browser. Close. So the best part of Teams is you can create Visio diagrams as well. Okay, folder, project one. So everything that is related to this project or this particular use case one, I'll just rename it to use case one so that to avoid confusion. Use case one. So the beauty of this Teams now is I can also go ahead without any license to Visio. So I'll flow diagram, calculator. Okay. So normally in organizations we use Visio, and we will also use right now I'm asking or I'm telling my team to use Task Capture because it has some features that we can use, but I do each and every flowchart in Visio. This is just a representation to show others like what exactly we are trying to do. For example, if we need to add two numbers, then where exactly the data will come from and how exactly we'll move the data. So all these things will come into this particular flow. So there is one more tool, something called UiPath Task Capture. Task Capture. Okay, I think this is not available here. Let me just check in the files. Teams. So there is a task capture zip that is available. So I'll just see batch 2. Okay, we have in batch 2. Let me just move that. Or if you want to download, you can go into UiPath Task Capture. Okay, so this is a process discovery tool which we will use, and it's for free. So no need to pay anything for this. All you need to do is download it and use it. Download Task Capture, and I'll give you the link to download as well. Okay, and the link goes in here. Okay, so now what we are doing is, okay, we have completed with understanding that, okay, I need to automate calculator, but to automate calculator, then what I exactly need to do? We'll go with the process. First, we will check if the process is repeatable or not, and we'll try to understand the use case, then we'll work on it. Okay, so download the task capture. So this is the link. Okay, so after completion, then install it. Then you will have something called this task capture. So this is 21.10 preview. If you download the latest version, it can be a different one. You can use as you want. So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, you need to fill this form. I have some add-ons enabled, so this I don't see this form. But can you guys just confirm? I'll paste it in the chat. Suman says, do we need to create a PDD as a developer? Yes, you need to. Okay, just click on that link, and I have given you a chat, and then see the form, fill the form, and you can download the task capture. Yes, you can download. And the other option that I can give you is I will move this to general folder, or in team 2 I already have this batch 1 files. Okay, softwares. I'll move this to a general folder. Let's see. I don't have this task capture. No. Okay, I'll move it to your RPA team 1 project. So here you can have it. Resumes, use case 1. So all the projects need to have task capture. It's not PQD, it's only PDD. I don't know what is PQD. Files. Okay, you have resumes. I think it will take time, but you can download and use after some time. Okay, so what exactly we are going to do in this particular process? Let's first understand that. I will also use something called GitHub. So we will move very fast on the tools that we are going to use. The first week will be on understanding the tools and settling up for ourselves. Then in the next week, we'll not stop. Okay. So we'll have version information technologies and then RPA in developer in 30 days. Okay. And then repository, show and explorer. So this is the code that existing team already or previous teams have already created. I have my own folder called Vajrang, and I will keep all the code in here. So I will also tell you how to work with this, and I'll just add one thing. New folder, project team 1. Okay. So whatever I create for you, it will be there in this particular place and it will be accessible for everyone. So right now, don't worry or you need not check on where exactly you can access it. I'll tell you how to access it and all. But let's start with the document. Okay. So this is the project team 1. So first we will either we can already build a diagram, or you can also capture a process. It completely depends upon what you want. For now, let's build a diagram. Let's understand what exactly is UiPath task capture and how can we work on this. Okay. So if we go with calculator, I need to add 2 numbers. That's my simple use case or simple requirement. But to do that, or to make sure others are able to understand it, we need to create something called as is flow and to be flow. There is something called as is flow. Just a second. Yeah. Create as is flow, create to be flow. So what is the difference between as is and to be? Now in as is flow, as a manual worker, what I do is I take input from Excel for each row of data, input or input data into calculator, copy extracted output, copy output, paste into Excel back. Okay, so this is my requirement, and finally send email to stakeholders. So for now, let's do it manually and let's see what exactly I meant here. Let's go with project team 1, new folder, use case 1. So in this use case, I have a new Excel. In this Excel, this is an input file. Okay, so this is input 1, this is I2, input 2. So this is output. So that's what I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So as a manual worker, what I need to do? Okay, I need to open this Excel. Someone placed this Excel for me or someone sent it to me. So what exactly I'm doing over here is I need to check. Okay, click on 1. I need to click on 1. 1 plus 6 equal to 7. So I need to copy this and I need to paste it over here. So the answer is 7. So don't think that this is calculator, I can do it on my own. Think it in a project level. Now in a project level, you are required or the manual person need to write or do some manual work. Okay, so that's what we are trying to automate. Irrespective of it is calculator or any other application, I need to add 2. I need to have here like 2 plus 7, that is 9. So I'll go back and I'll keep 9. So in the same way I will do for other items. So the answer, this is 11 and here this is 13 and here this is 15. Okay, now just observe what exactly happened over here. This is a repetitive process because I need to take each and every item, I need to get some output and I need to place it back, and this is a manual work. So things that I identified that asked me or that helped me to identify this process is automated is, this is a repetitive process. The process is repetitive. Inputs are fixed. Okay, and no change in the outputs, very less exceptions, no manual intervention required. Okay, so these are few key factors that help me to identify that these are the process or these are the inputs that I require to automate the process. So okay, fine, now that I have got all the requirements or all the identifiers that the process can be automated, I'll just go ahead and try to automate this. Now how can I make sure others are able to understand what exactly do we need for this? Okay, very few exceptions. Okay, so for others to understand, I'll try to create a process flow. So what I'm giving is read Excel input. Okay, and then for each item, like now here we are required only to do addition. But what if there is something called insert operator? Okay, and in this operator, now I have a different scenario. Now here I have subtraction, I have addition, I have multiplication, I have division, okay, just a second, division, and here's plus again. So depending upon the operator, I need to identify what I need to do. Plus, so this operator can be taken as a business rule. Okay, now I have a business rule that in depending upon this operator, you need to work on this. So let's take something called add a decision, and this is operator. So here we will add sequence and we will add empty sequence. I think we can delete this. This is very easy if you can just sit and work. That will be very easy for you. So this is addition, subtraction, and here multiplication, and then division. So all these multiply, divide, add, subtract. Or you can also do something like this. Now here I can represent this as subtraction, and I can write subtract two numbers. So all the steps I can write over here. So this is the way how I can represent the flow. Subtraction, multiplication, and divide, add. Okay, so here multiply, steps to multiply. Okay, and here steps to add, and here steps to divide. Okay, now see, understand this on a bigger level, on a project level. Now we are not worried only about adding of two numbers or multiplying of two numbers. We are taking a project to a next level so that we will work on each and every activity, and we have clear details on each and everything that we need to do, and we are identifying if the details or if the project that we are doing are correct or not. Until and unless we identify them, we cannot proceed further. Okay, so once we have completed all these activities, okay, I'll just move this up so that I can add the details. And the last thing that we need to do is write to Excel, write output to Excel. Okay, and then okay, I need to get it from here. I'll write it to Excel. I need to get it from here, write it to Excel. I need to get it from here, write it to Excel. So after writing everything to an Excel, then what exactly do I need to do? I will need to check if there is next item or not. Next item exists. For example, if I use only one row, I need to check if there is any next row. So after the fifth item, then there will not be any next row. Then you can stop it. So and this is no. But if there is any next item, then go ahead and add it or take that next row. Okay. So this is the process, and this is where things get clumsy. So you need to clearly see what exactly you need to do. Steps to multiply, steps to divide, and write output to Excel. And once that is done, then you need to check on this. Okay, 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 and then done. Now here we go. First we are starting the process, reading the Excel, taking one row. If that is an operator, which operator? Depending upon the operator perform activities, write to an Excel. If there is next item, then proceed with next item. Okay. If there is no next item, then end the process. So this is our simple process that we have. We are not writing on any code. We are not writing on anything. We are just trying to understand the process. So this is the process that we have. Now the explanation is completed. I want you guys to ask the questions. So I am opening the questionnaire session. So let's go ahead and try to answer or try to complete this questionnaire, and then we'll close the session for today. Next 15 minutes. Opening the chat. Let me just open the mics. I have allowed mics for all the attendees. Okay. Now ask your questions. Before that, There are some questions mentioned. BRD, business requirement document or specifications document, that's asked by Sumant. See, that is a document where we will mention about what kind of infrastructure do we need and how exactly we need to deploy into which RAM machine or which specification machine. That you need not to check right now because we are working on the projects. Infrastructure will be dealt by infrastructure team. There is a separate team for it. When whatever you are entering inside, just the statements to understand. Yes, those are just the statements to understand, nothing else. Now, this task capture must be do in PDD or STD. So the task capture is used. So there is a beauty with task capture. Now, with this task capture, things we can do. Let's just understand what we can do. File. First, let's save it. Save as. Okay, and then let's go ahead into use case one. So this is flow calculator. Okay, prepares task capture. No one prepares task capture. That's a tool like UiPath Studio that is used to create PDDs. Task capture is primarily used to create PDDs. Okay, Martik, please go on mute. You have okay. Sorry, Martik, you have a lot of disturbance from your end. I muted you. Just type in if you want out the chat. Now here in this, from this particular process or from this particular diagram, you can export it into a PDD Word document. So this is calculator automation for calculator. Type an author name Vajrang. Okay. Now you're asking continuously, right? Who prepares the document or who uses this? This can be used by a business analyst or a developer. Whoever creates a document can use this. This is to identify or from where you are going to get the document or where is the template. This is from where you have a template where you can write or update. Open the file. Now see here, in this is the PDD, and in this we have a name that's generated, table of content, like why do we need this. Tomorrow we are going to discuss on PDDs and SDDs. I'll write the content for tomorrow. Just a second.
Vajrang, I have downloaded the Task Capture. It is asking to add a license key or a community license or sign
It's a
into their
community
software cloud.
license. You can go for a community license. It's free. Okay.
Yeah.
8 April 2022. So tomorrow we are going to discuss on PDDs, SDDs, all the documentations. Okay. And how to create PDDs and work on that. So let's go with the document. So tomorrow, though, we are going to discuss, just see with the table of contents what it exactly has. Key contacts. Whom should we contact for this project? Minimum requirement or prerequisites for this automation. To have this automation in place, what are the minimum prerequisites? So all the projects need this document, and these are some generic structure, or this is the standard structure for a PDD. So we are checking with as is process description and to be process description. Now in our process, so what becomes a to be process? Now here, the manual process is to create all these things, but for a okay, here it is. Okay, for creating an as is flow, creating a to be flow. Okay, we already have a point for it. Okay, to create a to be flow, then what exactly do we need to do? Read Excel. For each loop, use operands or use arithmetic operators, arithmetic functions in code, write output. to Excel and close. Send email. See, the difference between as is process to be flow over here is now here manually someone is entering the data, someone is sitting and typing over here. But in our automation, we are just reading and we are using arithmetic functions in the code like to add two numbers rather than clicking on 7 and then plus button and then minus button and then going back. We just improvised our process. We just tried to make sure that the code can be written without any manual intervention. Even without UI interactions, we can write this code. So why do we need to go ahead for calculator? Without calculator applications, we can write the code. So the in 2B flow, we actually removed calculator. Okay, so that is the process improvement we have done, and that is a simple way. For practice purpose, in our own laptop, while downloading Task Capture is asking for business email. Is there any other way you can provide for office email? So what you can do is you can go into our documents or in teams files, reload this tab. I'll just try to move this again. Files, softwares. Nothing is moved. Files. Yep, Task Capture setup. So just I will add a folder softwares. So you do not have any business user account now. You can just download this and you can use this software. It's there in softwares. Just go ahead and check it. Okay, team one, you can download this and unzip and use. No need for business account email. Okay. Coming back to our process, we'll first read for each loop and perform arithmetic operators and send an email. So that's the only activity that we are doing, and that change should be mentioned in to be process. Okay, and what is in scope, what is out scope, everything we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. But for today, let's close the last 5 minutes with some questions, and then we'll close this. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and then we'll continue. The mics are open for everyone, I guess. Just let me just check it again. Yeah, the mics are open for everyone. You can unmute and talk.
Hi Vajrang, Akriti here.
Akriti, tell me.
So in simple terms, as is flow is like how manually they are doing,
Correct.
and in 2D flow is how the automation should work. Is
Correct.
it like that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Hi, Vajran, Rashmi here.
Lakshmi.
So I wanted to
Rashmi,
ask,
tell me.
what are the possible questions asked in interview for Agile methodology?
Well, see, they will just ask you what is your sprint duration, how many members do you have in a sprint, and what is the sprint planning, who does the sprint planning, and where do you keep your tickets. Okay, sprint planning is done by a scrum master. You are a scrum team, so you will work on the tasks. Okay, and all the tasks will be assigned to you or created to you by the scrum master itself. You will for example, if I have given you a task of add two numbers, that's a task, and the task need to be done, and we'll also do that in our team, like in the first week. So what exactly you can answer is after every 15 days we will have a sprint review or sprint review where we will need to demo our product, and we need to show it to the stakeholders. Once that is accepted, we will go for it. After the testing is done, we will go for a deployment. Okay, in sprint deployment. And for that, there is a separate team who does the deployment because we don't have the access for production missions.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the questions that you can get, and you can answer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Next question, please. Last 4 minutes.
Yeah, Vajrang, can you explain?
Vajrang,
Wait for a second. Anil, please go ahead.
Yeah, so can you explain the last part while we are taking the second row? Can you explain in the graph again?
What happened with the second row? So here, close. Now, after you get the next item, again, you need to identify which operator it is, right? Plus, minus, or divide. Again, you are adding two numbers, again writing to output. Again, go for the next item. If it is there, check for operator and work on it. Close. This is the loop.
Okay. Thanks, Mr.
Yeah, please go on mute. Next question, please.
Vajrang, Alekia here.
Yeah, Alekia.
Like usually, how much time it takes to complete the medium level project in RPA?
Okay.
Like if suppose if I say in interview that I have 1.5 year of experience, how should I say, like how many projects I have done before?
Okay. So what exactly will happen is RPA projects are very fast deployed projects. Like they will not take 6 months to 1 year to create a project. It will be only 1 month to 1.5 month. If it is very small project, that is 1 month, because in the first week we will do analysis, second week we will do development, second and third weeks we will do the development, fourth week we will deploy the project or do the testing and deploy the project. So these are in a month, in 30 days time span, a small project will be completed. Okay. If it is a medium project, then you can add 2 more weeks. If it is very big project, then you can add for 8 weeks. But if there is any other project which is taking more than 8 weeks, then what we will do is we will divide it into 2 submodules and make into 2 separate projects, simpler projects.
Okay.
Now what exactly will happen? The 2 separate projects will be dealt separately.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so that's how we will do. But it will not take more than 2 months and more than 3 months. And average time span to create any project is at the max 30 days to 2 months only. Like 30 days to 60 days. So if you have it, if you are mentioning that you have an experience of 2 years, then just divide. For a year, you are developing close to 4 projects. And for 4 big projects, for 2 years, you will have at least 8 projects in your resume.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome. Darshini?
Hi, Vajrang. Will there be any kind of questions regarding the flowcharts in an interview?
No.
Okay. And one more question is, do I have to practice the flowcharts, or is there any way to do that?
See, there is no right or wrong in a flowchart. If you can explain this simple diagram to a 5 years or a school kid, then your flowchart is good. Okay. See, instead of writing a division, like the diamond shape, I need to know that this is used for decision making, right? Those simple things that you need to understand, but remaining things, that's not complicated.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But in our team, everyone must do it. There is no other scope. I need everyone's output. Okay. Yes. Next question, please.
Yeah, hello Vajrang. This is Bindu.
Tell me, Bindu.
Apart from this task capture, I understood very well, but I have a query regarding this RPA project in this Teams. I'm not able to access that. Can you please check this, post this all questions and this all?
Okay. So the time is completed for today. I'm stopping the recording. So don't ask any important questions. Okay.